or live, and I've completely blanked on what I usually do. It has been that long since I've been on the
It
show.
says
Like
it right there in the document.
I know I had to pull a document. All right.
What's up,
Here we
y'all?
go.
Welcome to Original Gamers Podcast. I'm your
There you
host,
go,
Patrick
Nolan.
Ryan.
And I'm joined today, as always, by the guy who was just talking, Nolan Brown,
Hey.
and Joel Watt.
Hello, friends.
This week we are going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. But before we get into that, what have you guys been up to? Not everyone at once.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Let's see. This week, what have I done? Something? I don't know.
What have I done with my life? I don't know.
What have I done with my life? My monitor came in. That's exciting.
Nice.
Ooh, what kind of monitor?
It's an LG something. I don't remember what model it was.
Oh.
I know it's like, I could probably find it eventually and figure that out. But it's
You
it's a
know
32
specs
inch.
off the top of your head.
It's a 32 inch. Does 1080p. I don't remember. Like I know, like someone was asking me that, like in a stream. I'm like, I don't remember what it is, and I felt I'm like, oh shoot, what is it? And I just blanked, and yeah.
Well, it's a
People want to
computer-
know these things.
It's a computer monitor, right? Not a television monitor.
Yeah, like it's a computer monitor, and I got my TV right here that I'm hoping to eventually have them both hooked up, if possible, so I can have so when I'm streaming something, I have this set up for like the game or whatever, and this I have like other things,
Yeah,
like chat or something, or or if I'm Dark Souls, I have TV right here, and then I have chat right there, kind of thing.
So you're gonna have the TV act as a second monitor, and not as a output for like your capture card or something.
It'll go back and forth between the two.
Okay,
depending. Yeah,
that's cool. Cause I for a while had actually an Apple monitor and then a television setup, but the Apple monitor was 23 inches. The TV was 42 inches.
Whoa.
And since and at the time it was Windows 8.
yeah.
And since Windows, and I don't even, maybe it still can't, but I know at the time Windows couldn't pump out different resolutions to each monitor. They had to be the same.
Oh, it can now. Yeah.
Oh, can it now? Okay. So at the time it couldn't. So like moving my mouse from the 23 inch to the 42 was like, then it was like, okay, now where'd the mouse go? Cause there it is. Okay. You can move it. And, but yeah, if it can do different resolutions now, that would be really nice. Cause then you could move it and it would still be there.
Yeah.
That's cool. What have you talked on any other, like if you've already told our audience what your computer is, you don't necessarily have to repeat it, but I don't know what'd you build?
Well, I didn't build it. I bought a pre-built.
Okay.
Because I was kind of getting overwhelmed by like information input, and Jimmy was
That'll
like,
happen.
You know what? Based on what you've told me, here's a pre-built right here that has everything you were just talking about, plus a couple other things as well. And sent me a link for that, and that's why. So it's an iBuyPower. It is got an i7. It is a 4700. No, 75. Shoot, 17.
It's an i7.
It's an i7, and then I'm like, the graphics card. I'm like,
you got a 1070.
1070. Like, what was the 1070? So, everything looks really nice. Like the Thursday at the end when I was playing Scanner Somber, that I was like, that it was just beautiful. It looked fantastic. And everything was just nice. 1070. It's a i7. I have a terabyte hard drive, like 16 gigs of RAM.
Nice.
Trying to think what else. It's got a light that I can change the colors on for the interior part.
I used to have one of those.
I just have it stuck on like pink right now, but the pink looks really nice. It's very calming.
Fun fact: there's no such thing as pink light waves.
That's weird.
Like it's a very light red because there's.
I know.
No,
what our eyes perceive as pink is not actually pink light. It's just It's a gap in the color wheel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's about what that is.
So you're probably playing games at full 1080p and streaming with no problem as long as your internet connection is good.
Unless it's freaking Binding of Isaac or Geometry Dash, for whatever reason.
What's wrong with Binding of Isaac? That
If for whatever reason he can't play 16-bit games.
It's
weird.
So hard when I because Thursday. Okay, so Thursday, I started off playing I Am Bread. Played for an hour until I was just kind of done with it.
Hate that game.
Then went back to getting over it for a little bit. Got further than I'd ever been, and fell all the way back to the bottom of the mountain. Said, I'm done. Tried playing Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and it chugged so hard that it was pain. I couldn't even play because it was like slow. Then all of a sudden it would speed up again. It was doing that, and I played Scanner Somber.
What's so weird about that is I played Binding of Isaac for P3, no problem at all on my 4-year-old hunk of junk.
The Rebirth, and apparently it's not optimized for streaming. So, everyone told me
it's a well-coded game.
I don't know if I don't think I was streaming P3 back then, so maybe that's why I didn't have any issues.
That's what I was gonna ask about. So I don't know. I'm like, because I know just playing it is fine, but
yeah. Now I know that the frustration I had with it is there's no native controller support. You either have to use a keyboard or go download like a gamepad to keyboard binding thing, and and I had such a hard time with that thing, so I just played with the keyboard and hated it.
That's what I ended up doing. I'm like, I didn't like playing with the keyboard, but I'm like, whatever. It's what I'm stuck with. But
indeed, you got a capture card yet?
No, it'll be here this week.
Okay.
Oh, your new one, yeah.
Yeah, because the new one is coming this week. For whatever reason, it takes an extra week to ship.
Because that's why you haven't been doing Dark Souls, right? Because you've been playing on Xbox or.
Well, I really haven't been doing it because I couldn't use both the TV as both to play Dark Souls and to stream with.
Right.
Now that I have like an actual monitor and this, I can do that. But I also wanted an actual internal capture card, as opposed to the big external hard drive, essentially.
Saves on space.
Okay. Yeah.
Saves on space, and I don't have to worry about doing a bunch of stuff. And it's with the internal, I guess there's no delay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, because I know you guys probably have internals, right?
Yep.
Okay, like with my thing is there's like probably a 2 to 3 second delay between what is happening in the game and what's happening like when OBS picks it up. So I couldn't actually stream watching OBS.
Oh, well, now depending on what I'm playing, I still can't do that, like watching my XSplit feed, because there is it's not as bad of a delay as what you're talking about. So I'll use it and use the pass through to hook up to a TV. Now there's no delay at all, but I discovered that there was a delay when I was watching the stream on the computer when I was streaming Chrono Trigger. I tried doing it and I was noticing that like I'd hit a selection and it would be just a hair slow, and I was like, that's weird. So since I was playing that on the Wii U, I was able to play it on where I was watching the gamepad as well, have it mirrored, and then I didn't have the problem. But yeah, now when I'm recording myself playing Bayonetta, I have the pass through going to a television, and if I get it so that I can see the XSplit output and the TV output in my peripheral vision, I can tell that there's like just a hair, but it would be enough that I would notice it and it would throw me off trying to do combos and stuff.
Bayonetta is like, you got to be kind of tight.
Yeah, you got to be pretty deliberate with your button presses and stuff. So I could probably play.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I could probably play like Like Hyrule Warriors, this is just a dumb button masher. I could probably play that just
exactly.
fine
You can do
with
that
no
with
trouble at all.
animations, but-
Complicated combo system. What are you talking about?
No, no, it's really not.
It's XXY or XXA or X.
Or X.
Yeah, or just XXXXXX.
Yeah. Careful now.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
made
don't-
sure. I didn't have any, but,
Well,
that's
cool.
pretty much been my week. I mean, oh, Thursday I also had 2 Carolina Reapers on stream. That was fun.
Oh my.
Yeah. And you can see the first one especially, like I get it, and it's hot. You can see it's hot. I'm like choking it down. When I get to go to swallow it, like I instantly just dry heave.
No.
Like
Oh wow.
I was like, please, I don't want to throw up all over all of this live on the internet.
That'd have been great though.
I was thinking, I'm like, it'll be good for views, but I really don't want to ruin all of this.
Is it
But-
against Twitch's terms of service for you to vomit on stream? I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
That is a good question.
Like I wonder if there's something in there that's just real vague about bodily fluids, and that maybe vomit would get thrown into
Probably.
that.
Probably
We should
would be.
find out. Someone who's listening, go find out for us and let us know, because we're too lazy to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just I've got other things to focus on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I had a doctor's appointment to like a follow up thing.
Oh, from your
from the
car wreck?
accident.
Mhm.
And they had me do like a grip strength, like a grip test thing,
Mhm.
like your grip strength. And like, so I start with the right hand, which is the one that got messed up for anyone who hasn't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? So I get about 40 psi is the best I got in my right hand. I'm like, okay, that's not terrible, And I'm a
Mhm.
righty, right? So I go to the left, 110.
Oh wow.
I'm like, I have much further to go.
Yeah, you got a way to go.
So, like, jeez. But so I thought that was
Most
kind of
definitely.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
For
we're
those
glad
of you
you're-
who don't know, Nolan is a pretty big dude, so 110 is. I'm not surprised actually.
Yeah, I'm like, I was kind of surprised. I'm like, oh, okay then. Like,
I wonder how good your right hand would be if it were in tip top shape.
probably.
Makes me wonder.
I probably could have got 150.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
120
alright.
easily, but probably 150. I don't know.
All right, that's your goal. You gotta get to
Yeah.
150.
That's
And then when you do it, you have to come do it on a stream. And if you hit 150, everybody who's watching has to tip us $100.
I want you to take the 2 walnuts and crush them together like that guy from James Bond.
That's actually not too difficult to do. You just have to line them
Says
up
you.
Yeah.
No, like legitimately, like, well, I mean, yeah, I couldn't right now, but like, if you have to, you just have to line them up like the lines, and it's pretty simple.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, I'll stop talking. Someone else go.
All right, Joel, what you been up to?
Well, last week I was dog sitting for this couple in my church, and they came back, so I got home like on Thursday. That was nice. And then the woman had to go to the hospital suddenly last night. So I got I got a call at like, well, it was yesterday afternoon. So it was like 3 in the afternoon. I'm sitting at my desk playing Super Mario Odyssey, just having a good old time. And phone rings, and this and that happened. Can you go watch their dogs? It's like, oh, okay, cool. So that's what I did last night. Guy came home at like 1 in the morning. His wife's fine. They just wanted to keep her overnight.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Then so I didn't get much sleep last night.
I guess
And
not.
the days leading up to that also, like I was home for maybe 2 days, and then I had to go spend another night there. And then like, he gets home, and I'm like, we talked for a bit. He's like, you can stay the night if you want. I was like, no, it's easy to sleep in my own bed. So I was really happy that we didn't start early today.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we can do it in normal. Yes, I can sleep. That was good. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Odyssey. That's what I did actually when I was dog sitting.
Yeah.
I would just sit there because I could take the Switch with me. So I just pulled it out of the dock and played in handheld mode, and I'm up to like 820 moons or something like that.
Oh, wow. You are quite a bit farther ahead than I am.
Well, I tried to get as many moons in each kingdom before I moved on, like when I was going through the story, which is just how I play games. I try and complete them. And which is also part of the reason why I probably spent 100 hours in the Lanayru region in Breath of the Wild, trying to do everything there, and I realized, I just need to move on with the story. So yeah, I spent probably a good 3 hours trying to complete the Darker Side challenge. I don't even know what it's called, but you have to, it's like the toughest thing in the game, basically. You get one shot to go all the way through this huge gauntlet. It's like the final road or whatever in Super Mario Galaxy 2. I don't know if you ever played that.
I don't know that I know I beat Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Yeah, so
I don't know that
Star 241 and 242 is this crazy long challenge where there's like maybe 1 or 2 checkpoints, and actually 242 you only get 1 HP.
Dang.
Yeah, so you have, like, in 241 you have to collect the comet medal, and then on your way through, so then when you get the star and it says do it again but with 1 HP. It's like, wow. Okay. Yeah, so this is basically that, but in Mario Odyssey. So yeah, it's a lot of boss fights and you don't get moons on the way. Like, you just get maybe the heart with a crown on it, the 6 HP heart.
Yeah.
Maybe. Sometimes you just move on with the challenge, and there's no checkpoints. So it's yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, I'm at the boss rush, and I have not beat it yet. So with the rabbit things.
Yeah.
I haven't beat it yet to get to the. Well, do you have to beat that to get to the darker zone?
You just have to get enough moons.
You just have to have enough moons. Okay, well, maybe I just don't have enough moons. Either that, or sometimes I get stubborn, and even though I've unlocked like something after something I haven't beaten, I'll be like, well, no, I can't do that yet. I haven't done anything before it, so maybe that's why.
I didn't move on to Darker Side until I defeated the boss rush in Dark Side, and so yeah, I tried Darker Side for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna go back and get a bunch more moons, get better at the game, even though I'm almost done. So yeah,
I'm enjoying the heck out of that game, and I'm still playing Zelda. I
couldn't play until I finished Zelda.
I haven't gotten all the shrines yet. I have beaten the Champion's Ballad, so I have I won't spoil it for people who somehow
spoiled it in the trailer.
Well, I know that, but like even my wife doesn't watch trailers, so so even when if I'm playing it with her in the room, I don't use the thing that you get, because she doesn't want to know what it is.
Well, I had it spoiled. I was just scrolling through Facebook and a video started playing. I was like, oh, awesome.
Sometimes, I don't know. It's like Nintendo doesn't. On one hand, it's like Nintendo doesn't understand how to have a surprise. And then there's the Smash Switch reveal, which was exactly how that should have been. I'm like, why? How do you get it right sometimes and screw it up the other time?
Well, you know what I like most about the Champion's Ballad was the final boss. That was a really fun challenge.
That was good.
And I can't believe I beat it on my first try also. Because it was really tough. But I had max hearts and lots of health and recovery, and
I don't think I died either, but I definitely he gave me a run for my money.
Yeah.
Which was nice because the other bosses were just replaying the
or
ones I already
the
beaten.
one hit obliterator. Like, man, I died probably 12
yeah.
times with that thing. Like, I was so mad. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I got Kirby. I haven't started playing it yet because I want to record myself playing it. And as I was telling y'all before the show, so my son was in town, and my wife also got it so she could work from home all this week. And we share an office space, which is also our bedroom. So if she's at home working, I can't be in there because when it comes right down to it, she's making money working and I don't make money doing this. So I lose. So,
Right.
so I let her have that in there, and I don't have a way to record anything out here, and my kid was here, so I spent the time with him. But what I was able to do this week, which was really neat, was I got him a, I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's CanO Kit. It's KANO. It is it's a Raspberry Pi 3, a little case, an operating system that's on a micro SD card, and then all the cables make it work. And it's basically your kid builds his first computer. Now it's incredibly rudimentary because it's just a Raspberry Pi and you're just snapping a case around it. There's absolutely no, like, you can hook a graphics card up to it and all this other, because that just doesn't exist in this. But it was
pins or anything like that,
right? And that's, well, there's a little thing that's got a light on it so that while the operating system is doing something, the lights will change different colors. He had to connect that to it, but that was as easy as lining the thing up and just, it wasn't any harder than sticking a USB stick into a USB port. But it's got, we did an unboxing and I had him review it, and I got to edit those and I'll put them up on the YouTube channel with links on where to buy it. He immediately jumped into like this real basic version of Minecraft that's on it. And then this other thing looked kind of, so the Minecraft that's on there is called Hack Minecraft, and it's developed specifically for the CanO OS. This is not to be confused with Minecraft Pi. That is different. And actually, I think Minecraft Pi is free. I think you can just go get it. But this is it like to build structures. Instead of having to lay each individual brick, he could code what he wanted to appear using little blocks and stuff. And he put them together and then, hit enter, and it would go out of the menu and the game would build for him what he wanted. So that was pretty cool. But since he plays the full version of Minecraft fairly regularly, he got pretty bored of it very quickly because it's just creative mode. There's the only multiplayer that's available for it is if someone else has this version of it and is on your local network. So you can't even multiplayer on the same system.
Right.
Which makes sense. It's a Raspberry Pi 3. I'm surprised it runs the thing at all.
Right?
Yeah.
So he moved away from that into this thing that I guess it's like a role-playing game that looks very similar to Undertale or Earthbound, where you're actually inside the computer and like the trees are made out of HDMI cables and there's houses labeled RAM and stuff like that. He moved around it. But since I explained to him going into it, what all these parts of the computer did and how it works and stuff, he got bored with that. So then he was like, oh, well, that's all this thing is. So I just don't like it. And so I had him review it. And he actually, I'll save his review score for when I do the review. He didn't give it a terrible score, but he also didn't give it a great score. And so after the review, I sat down with him and I'm like, okay, so have you looked at this thing yet? And he's like, well, no. And well, what about this thing? He goes, no. I said, do you know this thing has a web browser? And he goes, it does. And I'm like, well, now I know why you didn't give it a great review. You looked at two things, got bored with it, and just decided it was stupid and quit playing with it. So he took it back to Tennessee with him so that he could have it up there. I think I think now that I've shown him around the operating system a little bit, because I don't know, I think he had it in his head that he was going to be sitting down to Windows. I'm like, no, that's not what this is. I did, because again, it is a Raspberry Pi. I did go get another micro SD card and put Raspbian on it, and got the full version of Minecraft 1.12.1, which is not the latest version. I think it's a version behind the latest version. I got it running on it. Now it's at all the low settings, and the
graphics will look terrible then.
Well, and actually, not really. Now it doesn't look like it does on my desktop. It doesn't look anywhere near that good.
Make a joke, but Minecraft is blocky already.
That's right. But it's playable. The only real bad thing about it is even the render distance. I have to have all the way down to 2, because if you have it up any more than that, it chugs real bad.
When I first bought Minecraft, I had to keep the fog at like 1 or 2 on my laptop, and I was like, okay, I guess this laptop is done because it can't even run Minecraft. Right. So I'm getting a new computer.
But it runs well enough that he and I can play on a server, again, as long as I'm running the server on the version that he's on. So that's really neat. I think he's gonna enjoy that. But yeah, we did that, and he got Halo Wars 2 for Christmas, so we played a bunch of that. I like RTSs. I actually like them a lot. But the Halo, I have Halo Wars 1, and then I have this one, and it's so focused on story and lore, and I'm like, I really just want to get in and make the biggest army that I can and crush everything. Stop with all these stupid objectives. I don't care. Save the objectives for Halo, regular Halo. But he loves the crap out of that, so he's been playing that. But yeah, so this coming week, I don't start my new job, which I did get a new job for everybody who's been following up on that. I start that in like a week and a half or 2. So I have all this week and then a little bit of next week. I am going to get caught up on the Peaches and Stream highlights, the As Played by Ned highlights. I do have a media team now that I'm going to start having them pumping out stuff. And Talking Heads is going to have a little format change because I'm tired of my computer taking 2 hours to render the green screen out of my videos. So if you've ever watched a channel that does commentary and it's just over gameplay footage, that's what Talking Heads is going to be like for a little while. And I know you're all thinking, yeah, but then your head's not in it, so it's not Talking Heads. I'm not changing the name just because my head's not in it. Because eventually, when I get a better computer and a better studio space, I will put my lovely mug back in it. But for now, I mean, I'm just working with what I got.
Still talking, and you still have a head.
That's true.
Coming out of.
Yes, but the term talking head is referring to somebody who's in frame from the shoulders up, and they just talk. Like you see on the news channels all the time.
Yep, that's what we call the anchors all the time. So, but yeah. So, all right. We've been doing this for like 40 minutes and have not talked a lick about this game.
About the game.
Yeah. I've actually never played any. Well, that's not true. I've played, let me see, Link's Awakening, the GBA version of A Link to the Past, which also had 4 swords on it, and I liked that. And I feel like the 2 Oracle games. Those are the only handheld, unless you want to be like Breath of the Wild's handheld. Those are the only handhelds that
Link Between Worlds.
Oh yeah. I have played that. And that game's freaking awesome. Okay, yeah. So and then that. So those are the only handheld Zeldas that I've played. But Nolan very wisely sent us the Did You Know video for Minish Cap. Joel did. One of you two did. And I watched it, and now I feel like I am super educated on the game, and I know everything that there is to know about it.
You learned it all in 6 minutes.
I did, and now I'm super qualified to talk about this game. And right now, right out of the gate, I'm gonna prove myself wrong because I'm about to learn something I didn't know. This game's developed by Capcom.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
That was the
If you
funny
listened
part
to last week, we got super hung up on that.
I can imagine.
The Capcom really.
I knew that the Oracle games were
Yeah.
developed by Capcom. Did not know that they did this one as well. Okay, what?
Well, it was like part of the thing. Like this, they kind of like redeemed themselves somewhat, because like the Oracle games were not great. They're not terrible games.
Yeah,
but they're not great.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you consider like compared to like Link's Awakening, like the invisibility frames and the Oracle games are like half, like less than half.
Mm-hmm.
Is one thing I always remember. But like anyway, that's just something. But
yeah,
like Capcom.
The Oracle games suffered from too much ambition.
Yeah, they did. Way. Sometimes your dreams are too big.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what Shia LaBeouf might tell you.
It was also supposed to be a third game though too, but
yeah, there was.
Yeah, like I said, suffered from too much ambition. They couldn't get that third game done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they
could have done like Pokemon Yellow and just put it out later and called it Oracle of something else.
Well, they have seasons and ages, which is time and weather. So what would be the third element?
Space.
I forget.
Yes.
And it takes place on the moon.
Of course.
I'd play that.
Space.
But we'd already been to the moon in Majora's Mask.
Well, it was more like the moon had come to
final boss fight.
Yeah.
You go to the moon.
That's true. Anyway, so what is Flagship some internal Capcom?
No, they were like, is there such a thing as a fourth party developer? They were one of those subcontractors.
There is now.
Yeah. I just invented a term 20 years later.
Okay.
Anyway, actually it's only been 13 years, 14. Goodness gracious. Anyway, not quite. It's 13.
13.
What am I saying? Yeah, so they were like a subcontractor, because when I was putting in the credits, I was like, who the heck is this? And I looked them up. I was like, oh, okay, they were funded by Nintendo and Capcom.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I wonder, like, if the studio eventually all the employees there like went off somewhere else.
They had a Wikipedia page. I should look them up.
There you go. While you look that up, the
publishers, an independent Japanese video game developer funded by Capcom, Nintendo, and Sega, located in Osaka, founded by game designer person. Flagship often created scenarios for new and existing products and has developed for Nintendo several times on the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Their last video game was Kirby Squeak Squad for the Nintendo DS. In May 2007, Capcom announced Flagship would cease to exist, and their employees merged Capcom's main studio. Yeah.
Wait, how did Sega fit into that?
Well, they funded them, so Sega probably contracted them to work on their games a little bit.
I gotcha. Okay. Interesting. And now they're just with Capcom. Probably making DLC for Street Fighter 97. What number are they on now? Is it 5?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, they're on Street Fighter 5. Yeah, but it's probably like the third version.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
That's
just how. There's only one version of 5 so far, I thought.
Yeah, actually, I think they went away from that whole like super arcade, ultra mega fighting.
Well, because
now they just came out with the new version of Street Fighter 2.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because now you can, instead of having to do, Super Street Fighter 5 and all that, you can just add the characters to.
Yeah, it's a DLC or just a patch or something like.
Right.
Because the original, was it Super Street Fighter 2? It was just a patch basically. They made the game faster and added the palette swaps. Goodness gracious, couldn't think of the term.
Yeah.
They added the palette swaps, like it was already built in. You didn't need to make a cheat code or anything. Like, yeah.
And
that's what Super Street Fighter was.
Is Street Fighter 5 still I mean, I know it's on PC also, but is it console? Is it still a PS4 exclusive?
No.
Oh, so is it on Xbox now? Well, I know when it launched, it was exclusive to the PS4, and even though Sony's console is way outselling the Xbox, I remember thinking that is going to come back to bite them in the butt. Why would you?
It is not on Xbox.
Yeah, like why? Like I get console exclusives exist, but Street Fighter, no, don't do that.
Yeah, but
and I feel like it only being on the PlayStation has been part of some of that game's many.
but it's a Japanese game, and so it makes sense to keep it on a Japanese console.
No, that's dumb.
I know it's dumb. I agree. But like, if you're gonna make an exclusive version,
I suppose, but yeah, I
but
don't
then
know.
they ported it over to Windows, and it's got an arcade cabinet and whatever.
Yeah.
Powered by Unreal. There's no reason why it can't be on the Xbox.
Right. Heck, for that matter, if it's powered by Unreal, it could be on the Switch.
Yeah. Well, it's Unreal Engine 4. I don't know if that works on Switch.
I feel like it does. Maybe it's 3.
I think 3.
I'd have to look. I know there's a version of Unreal and that it is the full version and not some mobile port running. Well,
I'm not super good with this stuff.
What's Doom running on? Because I feel like that was Unreal 4. Maybe it's
wait. I thought it was 4. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Engine targets this generation of consoles, which I guess would include the Switch.
So this has all kinds of stuff to do with the game we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
welcome to the Original Gamers podcast, where we talk about modern game engines.
Because everyone knows that Minish Cat was designed to look like Gears of War.
We started talking about Capcom and the stupid things they choose when developing, and
yeah, I know. Okay,
let's move on.
Joel, who directed this?
This was directed by Hidemaru Fujibayashi, and I had to look him up because I've never heard of him.
He was in
I don't know who he is. He's a game developer, designer. He worked for Nintendo.
Wasn't he
still works for Nintendo?
Wasn't he the guy that was in the Did You Know gaming video?
Oh, was he?
I think so.
These names are hard to keep track of.
Yeah, that's true.
Like unless I hear them a lot, like Inafune or Aonuma, those other guys.
Yeah.
Since the Oracle games, he's worked on several Zelda games as director, including Breath of the Wild.
He had his magnum opus with Magical Tetris Challenge in 1998. I'm kidding.
Well, no, because in that Did You Know gaming video, I'm pretty sure it was him that they had a soundbite from, and he said that the Minish characters that are in this game, they were planning on having something like them in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
but
he's credited as the director of Breath of the Wild.
Okay, yeah. And
he directed almost every Zelda game. And he's worked on every Zelda game since the Oracle games.
Okay.
No, sorry, all the handhelds.
And
Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, fun fact, so a little piece of trivia. So the reason why those tiny people, I don't think he said they were going to call them Minish, but they were supposed to be related somehow. The reason why those tiny people are not in Breath of the Wild is because they wanted them to also be able to travel Hyrule like any other NPC, but feared that since they were so tiny, nobody would ever notice them.
Yeah.
And so it would be like, why are they here?
Yeah, that world is massive.
Yeah. So they just completely cut them out, which I was like, oh, that'd have been really cool if there was like
it would have been
a
cool
little
to have
village.
a village of them. I don't know, like traveling the world. Like that, I don't think that's important. If they all stayed in their village, like
maybe if every time you ran into one, they were riding a Kuko, then you would see them.
This is true. Are they big enough to ride a Kuko? I guess.
I don't have.
I mean, it would be like riding a T-Rex.
Yeah,
like they could be on one.
Yeah.
For...
If Final Fantasy characters can ride giant golden ostriches, I don't see why this couldn't be possible. All right. So the producer of this game, and like I said, I haven't played this game, but now that I know that this particular guy is involved, I'm going to assume there's some really weird stuff in this. Keiji Inafune produced this. So is this game weird? Like really weird?
I mean,
different than
like Keiji Inafune weird? Because he does some weird stuff.
Not Mega Man. That's what you're asking.
Well, doesn't he also do what is it? There's some role playing game that is like
The world ends with you.
No,
No.
I feel isn't
I'm
he?
trying to think of terrible role.
Isn't he's somehow involved in that series of role playing games that's supposed to be an analogy for the console war? Hyper Dimension something?
Dot hack?
No.
That hack was anime.
Kelly would know because he plays weird anime stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, in
plays
this
weird animes.
I don't know if Inafune actually had anything to do with the development of the game, but I know that he is the summon monster in it. And it's super bizarre. The whole series is just super weird. I'm pretty sure it's called Hyper. I think it's Hyper Dimension Neptuna.
Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth. Hyperdimension is one word, by the way, and Rebirth is separated with a semicolon.
That sounds right.
And
I think the very first one of the games that came out like just before the Dreamcast died, and it was this weird like the hero like it was pretty clear even to somebody who wasn't paying that much attention that the heroes in the game were Sega and the bad guys were Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, but they just had names that definitely made you think of them. And it's supposed to be this super weird thing.
Oh, wait, straight up, it says right there. It's supposed to be a take on the 7th generation era console war among the 3 major home video game consoles.
Okay,
yeah,
so maybe
but I'm not seeing Inafune in the credits here.
Well, maybe it's not him then, but I know there's some Japanese developer that he is a summon or a super weapon in it, and like there's this
might be in the game, but that doesn't mean he was part of the development.
He might not be because I'm pretty sure the game is developed by Sega or some Sega studio.
Idea Factory.
And all of the people just really loved this game.
Oh, I see it now. That's definitely a PlayStation girl. Wow. She's got the buttons on her head and like
right. And now Kelly has told me these games are terrible, but I feel like he owns them all. So.
Like,
so what does that?
There are some terrible games out there that I really like.
Oh yeah,
mainly Star Wars games. Why do I keep buying them? I don't know, but I buy them and I play them and I go, "This is awful," and I put it away and never play it again.
Yeah. We all do.
On Steam.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like how there's a PS3 exclusive at first, apparently.
But it's on the Vita and the PS4.
Yeah.
Also, and Windows.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
Who Nolan? Who wrote it? Who wrote this?
Let's see. Again, Hidemaru Fujibayashi.
Oh yeah, same guy.
The guy who directed it.
Mm-hmm.
And composer.
Mitsuhiko Takano. I said that weird. Takano.
What did he do?
The CanO.
He's the composer.
Taka.
No, I know that. But there's a link to him, so I'm assuming he's done other things. Let's see. He's in Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil. Monster Hunter. This man is fantastic.
Don't need to know anything about.
Yeah, that's it.
Monster Hunter. He's
music
perfect
for Monster Hunter.
Well, the last Monster Hunter he did was 3 Ultimate.
What the heck is Mega Man Star Force?
No clue.
It was the end of that.
He JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's done music for.
Real quick.
Oh, this actually like breaks down each song in these titles that he.
Well, it's a Capcom wiki,
right? Yeah. We are Rockmen, MEN, not man. Should say
there's more than one, you know.
There's
X
people.
and EXE and
we are rock people.
What was it? Oh, okay. Mega Man Star Force, Monster Hunter 3.
Mega people.
Resident Evil 5.
Then Goku Basara 4.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 5. That was a fantastic game, right?
Yeah.
So
it was because you know what Resident Evil 5 gave us. It gave us
Wesker.
No, Wesker was there the whole time. but it gave us
He's a playable character.
shoot. Oh really?
He's an unlockable.
Oh, okay.
And like there's the whole game is co-op. Sorry,
Right.
I'm going off on a weird tangent. The whole game is co-op, and so you can ask for items from the other player, but of course Wesker doesn't ask; he demands. So, and one of the items you can ask for is an egg. So everybody else is like, "Give me an egg," and he goes, "You will give me an egg." And it's just ridiculous.
What's this? Right, Wesker egg. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so Proton John thought that was really funny.
That
when
was,
he played.
what was I? Shoot, what was I saying? Oh, Chris Redfield punching a boulder.
Oh yeah.
Was if you've ever seen that, just
Can't
all
say
of
that I
the
have.
things. It's really funny to watch because it's a lot because you can find it on YouTube, just clips of that, usually with some kind of like speed metal too. As he's just sitting there, just like punching this boulder. It's fantastic.
Well, this is like one of the first, Resident Evil games with a lot of like, good dialogue, good quote unquote, and like it was well done, I should say.
Yeah.
Little sandwich.
And yeah, that not that kind of stuff, but like actually
it was
like thought out and that kind
Oh,
of thing.
yeah.
So like there's actually a lot of really good like high quality audio clips from the game that you can mash up and make like really funny.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to look into this later.
Yeah, no, it's there's a lot of good stuff.
The last Resident Evil I played was 4 on the GameCube.
Which is not a bad game.
No, it's not. And I really wanted the Wii version. And would not that the Switch needs more upports, because it doesn't. But if they wanted to upport the Wii version of RE4 to Switch, I'd be down with
There's
that.
already an HD version on PS3.
Yeah, but does it have the Wii motion controls?
Well, PlayStation Move, yeah.
Oh, who has a Move?
I know, right?
Only people with PlayStation VR have Move.
I don't even think that's the same thing, is it?
What?
You use the Move controllers when
Yeah.
you put on a VR, I think.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Sony finally found a reason for those things to exist other than to just be straight up a Wii ripoff.
They technically had better motion tracking than the Wii Motion Plus, but
yeah.
it's super gimmicky.
Mhm. This game came out in Japan on November 4th, 2004, Europe, November 12th, 2004, North America, January 10th, 2005, and Australia, April 7th, 2005. There's actually a little piece of trivia as to why the European version came out so darn early that I learned from that video that I watched. But this is on Game Boy Advance. Is this on Virtual Console?
I think so. You can get it on the Wii U.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They put GBA games on the Wii.
They put a ton of GBA games on the Wii U.
And they're not on the 3DS, are they?
I don't think
It's
so.
just so weird.
Yeah.
I think some are, but
Not a lot.
yeah.
Anyway, that piece of trivia that I mentioned, the DS, the original DS, was supposed to come out around the same time that it would have come out in Europe, and Nintendo of Europe did not want the two like competing with each other. They didn't want it to be like, oh, here's this game on this old thing that you're not playing on anymore. So they rushed the English version port or to the European language version. So it probably has English, French, and maybe German on it.
Probably.
Anyway, because of that, there's a lot of bugs in it. In fact, the video said that there's one bug that makes it so that there's a side quest in the game that is impossible to complete.
Yeah. Well, you have to complete a specific set of actions. That breaks the side quest.
Right. So there you go. If you have a European version of it, I'm sorry. I'm assuming I would hope they would have fixed that for the Virtual Console version and not just been like, we're going to make it as true to the original as possible.
Nintendo. They tend to do that.
I'm like,
there are lots of glitches in A Link to the Past that never got patched in the Wii U version.
But they're not game breaking.
When they put Pokemon on the 3DS, though,
crazy sequence break.
You can still do like the cheat to get Mew.
Oh yeah, and
Like,
you can
True.
still do the missing no and all that stuff.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean that kind of stuff I get, but I feel like if it's just
If it's
the
game
version,
breaking.
yeah, the version that you released was just not good, go fix. Especially since you have a version that is good, just use that.
Right.
But whatever.
Just take all the text files from the European version and put them in the American version, and you're all good.
Exactly. Just do that. While we're on people just doing things, Square Enix, just translate Seiken Densetsu 3 into English and release that Switch trilogy over here in the West, and let's pretend that remake of Secret of Mana didn't happen.
Never
all
happened.
will be forgiven.
But then they need an actual
also Kingdom
name
Hearts
for
3.
Seiken Densetsu 3 in English.
Call it Secret of Mana 2. No one will care.
Somebody will care. Because isn't the first one called The Legend of Mana?
In the West.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. In the West, the first one on Game Boy is called Final Fantasy Adventures.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. The naming it.
and then it was Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo, and then the third one doesn't have an English name because never got translated into English. And the dumb thing about that, I know we're getting off a tangent again. The dumb thing about that is there are so many fan translations. Just use one of those.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, this guy did it.
Yeah.
And we gave him a bunch of money, so he would say yes. And here you go.
Hey, and I would imagine if he was happy to translate the game for free in the first place, he'd be happy with just his name being in the credits.
Right? Probably.
You know?
Exactly.
Anyway,
I don't know. If you did all that much work, you should,
Oh yeah, I think you should get paid. But if they wanted to call him up and be jerks and just be like, "Hey, we want your English text file," he'd probably give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fix Chrono
Give me an egg.
Yeah. So the presentation of this game is very much like is this the first like 2D Wind Waker style?
Yes.
Game. Yeah. Okay. These games take place in the Hyrule Historia in the timeline that Wind Waker is in. Correct?
Actually, it's the second game in the entire timeline. It comes after Skyward Sword.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My
so it's
goodness.
actually, it's very early on.
Mm-hmm.
So
this timeline's so weird.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Okay. So it's the second game, so that makes it right after Skyward Sword and before what's the third one then? Is it
Ocarina of Time?
Is it Ocarina of Time?
No, there's something before Ocarina.
The Minish Cap.
Well,
I mean, besides that, though.
Okay, hang on.
4 Swords. There it is. Now I've got an image.
There we go. 4 Swords.
It's Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, 4 Swords, and then Ocarina, and it splits from there.
Yeah. I'm like, there was something else in there. Yeah, 4 Swords.
That's right, because Vati, the main villain, is in Minish Cap and 4 Swords.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so 4 Swords is technically his resurrection. Even though, did 4 Swords come out first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yep.
Because that was
man, they release these games so way out of order.
I know.
I don't think they ever planned to make them all in the same universe.
I don't think they did either. I think they just did it to appease Westerners who insisted that there be one.
Yeah, I was okay with
That's
them all being separate stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly why.
Okay, so in the Wind Waker timeline, which is the hero,
the hero wins the world. So the hero is triumphant, and it splits in 2 different eras: the child era and the adult era. And Wind Waker is the adult era.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got Wind Waker, and then Phantom Hourglass, and then Spirit Tracks, which
the worst one ever.
Everybody loved, right?
I didn't play it. I just didn't play it. I'm like, nope.
A
train game.
My brother and his wife are both big Zelda fans, and I guess around the time Spirit Tracks came out, that Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was not too far away from it, and one of them bought I don't remember which one, but one of them bought the Bowser's Inside Story and the other one bought Spirit Tracks. And whichever one was playing Spirit Tracks was just constantly looking over at the other one playing Bowser's Inside Story and being like, what are you doing? I want to play that because this game's not very good.
What you're doing looks like fun.
Yeah, like I don't know what this
riding
nonsense
a train
is.
across the countryside.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Spirit Tracks had some decent music in it, but like I have not heard
enough
good things at all. Or like one interesting boss, and that's it.
Like the Adventure of Link. It's not a bad game. It's just so different, and that's why so many people don't like it. But like Spirit Tracks is kind of a bad game.
If you called it something else, Zelda 2 would be. If you called Zelda 2 something else,
oh yeah,
like not Zelda, people would be like, "Oh, this is a cool game."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo has had a lot of those. Like so Zelda 2, I always felt like, I mean, I don't know how you would make it different, but I always felt like Mario Sunshine would have been regarded much higher when it came out if it was not a Mario game.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it when it came out, but now they love it.
Well, yeah, now they love it. Same thing with that. What was that? Star Fox Dinosaur Planet. If they
Star Fox Adventures. That's not a bad game. Yeah. It's just not a good Star Fox game.
Star Fox out of the game, no one would have thought.
If thinking Miyamoto hadn't got his grubby little fingers on it and said, "Hey, let's put Star Fox in your game with a fox," they just let Rare do their thing. It would have been a good game, and Rare wouldn't have been sold to Microsoft, and we'd have Banjo and Smash. Sorry, I got a little heated there.
Speaking of Smash, Funimation tweeted at Nintendo of America something about Goku being in Smash Brothers Switch.
I heard that. I'm like,
and I was like, I think that'd be cool. But then, like, an article that I read about it mentioned that it would be the first time that a character that did not start as a video game would be in. And I was like, I didn't even think of that. And I wonder if that would other than the other hoops they would have to jump through, I wonder if that would be a reason Nintendo would use to be like, no.
I mean, once you've crossed that threshold, like you've opened up to a whole new world of characters. It's like, why can't we put Mickey Mouse in it?
Yes.
At the same time, though, Goku would essentially be a Ryu clone.
Yeah.
Which would piss off a bunch of people.
Yeah. Like, I was shocked they even put Ryu in it. I was like, he does not fit in like with the rest of Smash Brothers, really. No.
I think that went out. That went out the window when
the Cloud and Bayonetta.
I was thinking Snake.
Wow, Snake.
It was when he was in Smash. It was like, okay, there are no rules anymore.
I never liked playing with Snake.
I never did either.
My nephew loved playing as Snake, but I was like,
my buddy Tanner loves Snake too, and I'm just like,
so slow.
But yeah, like y'all said, Ryu, Cloud, Bayonetta of all things.
Yeah. Like, come on, I'll never forget when Cloud got announced as the final character.
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad. I went online and as Link, and just started just targeting people playing as Cloud. Because it was like instant release. It was like, and you can play as Cloud right now. I'm like, no.
And now I will put up with all of the server lag on Nintendo's server.
Well,
I can crush.
I went. It was even worse. I went on for fun, and it was just like, you suck.
So, well, since we're talking about Smash Brothers, is there any, because there's Toon Link in Smash Brothers, is there any sign of this game, like specifically in a iteration of him in Smash?
No, I'm pretty much, he's pretty much straight up from Wind Waker.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Wind Waker.
Okay.
The hero of wins, not the hero of.
And even though this game takes place in the timeline before Wind Waker, of course, came out after Wind Waker was developed. Other than the art style, are there things that were clearly Wind Waker in this game?
Not really. It pretty much just be the art style.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Beetle runs a shop, but
Yeah.
I think they mentioned in that video, like after they decided on the Wind Waker art style, they went back and they're like, okay, what characters from Wind Waker would fit in this world we created? And so Beetle was one of them.
Yeah.
Which he's also in what is it, Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. He's kind of become the shopkeeper now.
I finally found him in Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of places. He's pretty much at every...
He's at every stable. And then I think like you'll occasionally find him wandering around the world.
Also, I found him wandering around the world.
He's usually wandering around the stable.
Yeah.
Like, hang around the stable long enough, he'll wander far away. But yeah, if you like warp to the shrine near the stable, he's like right there in front of it.
Yeah. Usually he's sitting cross-legged. And he's always so happy to see me. And very thankful.
Oh, thank you.
He's thankful no matter what I do. Like whether I sell him something or buy something from him.
And one time I sold him like 5,000 rupees worth of crap because I just needed a bunch of money. And he goes, thank you. I'm like, you're a fool.
Wow. Fool in his money or soon parted. Yeah. Well, here I'll just throw out. I think I might have said this at the beginning. I have not played this game because I've only played the portable versions of Zelda that I mentioned before. Which one have you both of you played it?
I have not, but I learned about it a lot.
Okay.
I could talk about this.
Just me.
Okay. Well, because I know Joel, you're not real big into handhelds just in general.
No, I have a Game Boy Advance and I mean I could have got it on the Wii U.
Didn't you get a 3DS for A Link Between Worlds?
I got a 2DS XL.
A 2DS, yeah.
When they finally announced the 2DS XL, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I wanted in the next Nintendo handheld. Why didn't you release this 7 years ago or whatever when they first did?
Because then they couldn't charge you $250 for that 3D screen.
Yeah. Anyway, so when that finally released, I got that and A Link Between Worlds. And a few other
Wild on the 3DS.
Yeah. I would love to see that running on 3DS. They got Hyrule Warriors running on it.
Heck yeah.
That'd be interesting.
All right, so Nolan, why don't you tell us?
Regale us with your stories.
Yes.
Regale with the stories. Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, it's a Zelda game. Like, I mean,
there's a big bad who wants to rule the world, and you have to stop him.
Basically, I mean, I was gonna say I can give you kind of a rundown of the story real quick.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we all know Zelda. Basically, like it's not Ganon this time, though. Who is it?
It's not Ganon. It's Voxy, or I always called him Vatai, and I mean, I still kind of do. I realized that his name is Voxy.
Like Sephiroth.
Huh?
Sephiroth. It's Sephiroth or Sephiroth.
Sephiroth.
I think they do say Sephiroth in the song. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So that's his name. And he goes through and he has this like cap of wishing that grants any wish that the wearer wants. Like the Triforce. Except it's not the Triforce.
Why is there this other like all-powerful item in Hyrule?
I don't know.
Seems dangerous.
I wonder if that was just so that next time somebody was like, "You guys just tell the same Zelda story every time." They go, "No, this time it's a hat." Or whatever.
No, and he gets this. He goes to take over Hyrule. Turns Zelda to stone.
Oh wow!
Basically, dude. I think he kills the king. I don't quite remember. I think he kills the king, and basically, And you have to get there's the ancient Bakori blade that you have to find.
Now, who are the Picori?
Picori are the Minish. Is
Yeah.
all it. It's the people of the world call them Picori, but their name are Minish. And they're found in the Minish forest, and that's the only thing that still has the name Minish. Or do I have? Is it the other way around? It's definitely called the Picori Blade. I know there's like one. I forget now. Anyway, and they're like these little tiny people, like that are you wouldn't be able to see them if they're like smaller than ants and ticks and all that stuff. Let's see, and basically you have to go through. You meet this creature that looks like a cap that talks to you. His name is Enzo or Eslo.
Eslo, yes.
I was like, Enzo. That's definitely something, but
yeah, Eslo, and he was like
Enzo's from Reboot,
like a sorcerer of some kind, and he's the one who kind of helps you along the way. Like he's your Navi of this game. Like your companion talks to you and tries to help you with stuff, except he's not nearly as annoying.
It's hard to beat Navi's annoyingness.
It really is. The only one that tops it is Fee, and then the end of the game you feel sorry because then it's like, wait, Fee, no, don't go.
Oh my gosh, I got a lot of feels at the first time that Breath of the Wild, the sword made the Fee noise. I was just like, oh
yeah.
Because that game, Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword had a lot of feels at the end.
Yeah, it did.
It sure did.
Yeah, so you're going through. Other than that, it's a basic Zelda game. Is go to the place, collect the 3 things, get to the place. Oh wait, no, you can't do that now. You got to go to the 7 other things to get the things from there to power up something. To fight the bad guy. The cool things they did in this is they made something called kinstones that are like these, like kind of like basically making these medallions. You have a lot of pieces. There's like 3 different colors, and they all have like different break marks. And if you like get 2 and you put them together, you get something cool. Something cool happens in the world. Based on what color it is, it does something special. The red ones usually are the best. Forget what the blue is. Green usually is a treasure chest appears somewhere in the world. And gold are plot device ones that usually like you find them in dungeons or something. The other, let's see what else is there. Oh, there's like you can find kind of like how in Twilight Princess you could like learn special sword moves. There's 7 technically, 7 sword masters that you can go to and you can learn different moves from. But the last one, you can't learn the 7th one until you learn the other 6 first. In which case you get like the return of the hurricane spin, which you probably remember from Wind Waker.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Is the final power up move? Is you get the hurricane spin, which is just destroys things. Fantastic.
And it makes the ghost boss so easy in Wind Waker.
Yeah.
It does. Let's see, and there was a couple like cool new items in this one, like the gust jar. As you get this jar that like sucks up like a bunch of air and then can shoot it back out, or you can do stuff like that.
Similar to the gust bellows in Skyward Sword.
Yeah,
very much so.
And don't you get the mold mitts also? Just like in Skyward Sword.
You can like dig with those.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Ground, or like they take the spot of a shovel if you're over like overground, as opposed to underground. I really like overground. What the heck is overground?
Where you are 99% of the game.
Exactly. Let's see what else was interesting in this. I mean, like, there's a couple times you have to go into dungeons and you shrink down to the size of like the Minish or Picori. To like tiny things. So a lot of times, like bosses or like just regular enemies. Like the boss of the first dungeon is a choo-choo, just a regular choo-choo, but you're tiny, so you have to use like the gust jar to suck up some of the goo from the base, so it gets like all like heavy and wobbly, and it tips over, and you can then go and splash it. Stuff like that.
So it's are all the bosses just giant versions of regular? Okay, because
Not every dungeon are you shrunk down in. I think
oh,
like 4 total. There's the first one. There's an ice one. No, I know for sure there's at least one more, and I think there's a fourth one. But yeah,
I say because that was reminding me of because all the bosses in Yoshi's Island are just giant versions of
that's
regular
right.
baddies.
Yep. Except for one,
No.
where you get
well,
shrunk, eaten.
So, yeah, that's. I don't think if I'm forgetting anything. I think that's it. I mean, it's a really cool game. Like, it controls really nicely and everything like that. But
it controls like a pretty typical 2D
it's
Zelda, right?
yeah, that's exactly it. Top down.
Because it wasn't until the DS ones where they started adding all those weird swiping on the touchscreen to swing your sword and stuff.
No, yeah, thankfully you don't have to do that in this one,
right? Because the GBA doesn't have a touchscreen.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
So what were those things called? Bokiri or Bikori. So I saw a picture of them in the that Did You Know Gaming video, and I wondered, and I doubt that the game itself would have mentioned that, but I mean, aren't they like also carrying little like leaves over their heads, like for umbrellas or something?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not
that's
always.
a reference to the Japanese little people.
Yeah. Well, because that immediately made me think of the Koroks, and I was wondering if that had anything to do with it, or just.
I think no, that's a different inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. And the Koroks, their first game was Wind Waker, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was Wind Waker.
I was thinking so.
And they've only been in Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm. Breath of the Wild messes up the timeline
so much.
Yeah.
Like
all of everything.
Yeah, to me, the only thing that makes any sense is that it takes place thousands of years in the future, and somehow all the timelines have converged into each other.
Yeah.
But I don't know. 20 years from now, Nintendo can come up with another nonsensical timeline.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Hyrule Historia Volume 2.
What would be even better is if they were like, oh, and by the way, that one we released before, yeah, we're throwing it out. Here's the new one. And it has 5 timelines in it. And there's a Mario game in it for some reason. So I don't know what I was about to ask. So are there any other was this the last GBA Zelda game before the that makes sense because of that European thing that I was talking about at the beginning. The DS came out and then everything moved over to that. And of course, if you had any DS model before the Lite, you could play GBA games in it.
Yep.
With the little backwards compatibility. The only reason I really wanted that was for the Pokemon up trading or whatever you call it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Other than that, I still had my Game Boy Advance SP that I played everything on. So and I kept it. Well, but I guess I didn't even keep it so I could play GBA games. I kept it because the DS didn't play Game Boy games. It just played GBA games. Which I thought was weird. I was like, if this thing can play GBA, why can't it play Game Boy?
Because the Game Boy Advance used a physical switch to change between the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Oh, so it was hardware thing. Yeah. Kind of like how the original PS3 had a PS2 in it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I got one of those.
Yeah. Hey, I heard if you have one of those or ever had one of those, the Sony might owe you $65.
What?
I'm guessing it has something to do with the lawsuit when they took out Linux support.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw a thing. Well, because it originally launched with the ability to install a full version of Linux in it. But of course, people were using that to pirate games.
Of
So
course.
so they, with a firmware update, removed that ability. And a bunch of people were like, but one of the reasons I bought this was so I could run Linux. So you've now taken something that I paid for away from me. And I think that it was a class action lawsuit, and I think they won. And so if you have or ever owned a original PS3, I don't know how you go about getting your $65,
Yeah,
but
I bought mine used, so I don't think I
oh wow,
qualify.
yeah, then you might not. The person who bought it originally might.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was used too, the first one.
Yeah, I never had my PS3 as a. It's one of the ones that's got the ridges in the top, and
Yeah,
you
you got
slide the
the super
thing.
slim.
Yeah, yeah. So it
Yeah, I got that.
does that one play PS1 games? I know it doesn't play PS2. Okay.
All PS3 play PS1 games.
Yeah, all versions of the PS3 will play PS1.
Okay.
But not all
Only
of them
the
play
first
PS2.
version of the PS3 will play PS2.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so weird and convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
All right. Well, Joel, did you have any experience? You haven't played the game.
I have not played the game. I actually completely forgot what we were supposed to play because, like I said, I was dog sitting, and so
Right.
last week I came home, I did the podcast, and I immediately went back to the house. I started playing Mario.
I saw you send that message a few hours before we started, and I was like, I don't know, you were there, I wasn't, and I haven't gotten to listen to it yet.
Yeah, nope.
I didn't see it at first.
Yeah. So any impact that this game has on our culture and the video game industry would obviously just be any impact that Zelda has had on our culture and the video game
have there
industry. I would
been
think for the most
other
part.
Zelda titles developed by a third party?
I don't know. Was this the last one? Well, and then there was the who developed the Philips CDI ones?
Philips.
Those came out first, though.
Yeah.
Hey, I put in Zelda third party games, and the first hit is CDI games.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like Capcom would have been.
It's really the only one.
Would have been them. So let's see here. Yeah, the Oracle games were Capcom. Four Swords was Nintendo.
Zelda games not developed by Nintendo.
Yeah, because Phantom Hourglass, which is the next portable one, was developed by Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so is Spirit Tracks. And then, of course, so was A Link Between Worlds.
A brief history of non-Nintendo's made Zelda games. Oh, what? They've got the thing. Oh, The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. Do you remember the Game Watches?
I remember the Game & Watches, but...
No, not Game & Watch. A Game Watch. It was...
Oh, yeah, I do remember those.
Yes.
I didn't know there was a Zelda one, though. So
yes, there was, and it was pretty much the full game.
That's interesting.
Come
Okay, so there's also Zelda no Densetsu, which was based on A Link to the Past. It was developed by Epoch Co. in 1992 and only came out in Japan.
No Densetsu BS, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
that's the satellite
right
broadcast thing.
Yep. So that wasn't developed by Nintendo.
Okay. So Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. Oh, why? Why did you freeze suddenly? Scroll wheel doesn't work now, right? Four Swords, Minish Cap. Freshly picked Tinkle's Rosy Rupee Land.
Was that not
we
Nintendo?
Never got that.
Was that not Nintendo?
No.
Oh, thought it was.
So did I.
Made by Van Pool.
I wonder if that's a guy. Good old Van.
No, it's just one word, like a van pool.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to a carpool. Ripened Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love. Made by the same people.
That one too.
So
yes.
weird.
I would love to play either one of those.
Then of course there's the cartoon.
Yeah.
No.
We're not talking about that.
There's the cartoon.
My friend, apparently the only exposure she's had to Zelda is Breath of the Wild and the cartoon.
That's so weird.
That's so
Only thing, and I'm like,
not
really?
representative of the series.
I know.
To the
That's
point
so
where
strange.
she watched someone play Breath, and I guess she watched the cartoon first, and apparently she watched someone streaming Zelda. She's like, why isn't Link talking or saying anything? Why isn't he using his catchphrase?
Why isn't he going, excuse me, princess, all the time?
Why isn't he a conceited jerk? Why isn't he constantly trying to kiss the princess? Why isn't he making crude jokes?
And it wasn't did the fairy have a name?
Spritle.
Yeah, wasn't she like always weirdly jealous that Link was into Zelda?
Yep.
Yeah.
But she was also supposed to be like Zelda's companion.
Yeah, it's so weird. The whole cartoon is so weird.
Yes. There's a reason why Nintendo does not give up its IPs anymore.
I know, which is why I'm surprised they're making a movie. That CG movie that's supposed to be coming out
like they're making a new Mario movie, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Universal is, oh gosh, they're the ones that ruined the first one, but
I know.
But yeah. I don't know why Nintendo likes Universal so much. Like if you go back and watch The Wizard, like the video game tournament that they're all trying to get to takes place at Universal Studios Hollywood. And the movie is produced by Universal. And like the Nintendo theme park is being built at Universal Studios Japan. And like and the CGI cartoon is going to be developed by Universal Studios. Like Imagine, what is it called? Illumination.
Yeah.
Illumination Entertainment, which famously made Despicable Me and the Minions.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that they really wanted it to have the amusement park tie-in, and other than Disney, who is clearly not going to do it.
Nintendo.
What'd you say, Nolan?
Obviously, like the theme park tie-in, but they're scared to go to Disney because Disney might just want to buy Nintendo, and they're like, no.
Yeah. Nintendo won't sell.
Right. And so that's the only thing I can think of is like, other than Disney, who wouldn't do it because they don't own the property, who are you going to go to about building a theme park? Or you're going to go to Universal.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Warner Brothers owns Six Flags, but
Six Flags isn't that good when it comes to things like that.
Right. Yeah. So you're not going to want that either. So yeah, that's the only thing I think of. I don't know. Maybe Nintendo will retain greater control over it. Although the last time a game developer tried to retain creative control over the property was, well, at least that I can think of, was Halo, and there's no Halo movie because of it. So who knows?
There's a couple of animated movies that are tie-ins.
Right, but none of the and then there's like that
District 9.
The two District 9 was a great movie, but not a Halo movie. No, there's
wasn't that supposed to be a Halo movie though?
Was it?
Oh well, no.
District 9 was supposed to be a Halo movie, and then they decided that and something happened, so they couldn't. But they already shot all this. They're like, let's call it something else.
The guy who directed District 9, I think, was at one point tied to the Halo movie. And also because I think Peter Jackson produced that movie, and Peter Jackson was also tied to the Halo movie at some point. Yeah, that was why I watched it too. So I think that's probably where that came from. I don't know that it was like supposed to be the Halo movie and they just salvaged it or what, but
I actually ended up liking District 9.
I liked it a lot too. I liked it better than that guy, the director. What's his name? Neil Blomkamp or something.
Oh yeah.
His next movie, that one with Matt Damon, I liked it, but I wasn't super
Elysium?
Yeah.
I watched that one too, and it was not as good. You're right.
Right. And then I haven't seen Chappie yet, which I hear I hear it was okay. But I want to see it. It's on Netflix. I'm gonna watch it one of these days. So
one of these days.
And obviously
got another movie coming out called Rocka. Tale of a dystopian future, duh. Where an
That's
unknown
what he does.
alien group, duh, have colonized the Earth and humans struggle to fight back. Wow, this sounds super generic.
I know.
Everything he's done.
Yeah, and obviously the impact this game has had on our own lives has been really just Nolan.
Yeah.
Did you have the game right when it came out?
I did. I got it right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you liked it clearly because we're talking about it.
Well, I still have. It's the same copy I had way back when.
Yeah.
Very
This
cool.
one.
Does it have any cool? Because of the Oracle games, like had bonus stuff. Does this one have any bonus? I mean, I know there's not a second game,
I
but
was gonna say there's not a second game to tie it into. Yeah.
The only reason why Oracle had bonus.
right.
Yeah.
Two of them.
There's not like if you beat Wind Waker and then wait for the sun to hit the
No.
boat at just the right angle and then boot up this with your Game Link cable hooked into the GameCube, then you become invincible. I don't know. I'm making crap up, clearly.
No, that would have been Four Swords Adventures, if anything. But
Right. You can play Minish Cap 4 players.
That'd be interesting.
And it would have worked, I guess, in the story anyway. I don't know. It probably would have broke the game, but
To a degree, yeah.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Sorry. No, there really wasn't any extra secret stuff or anything like. Yeah, there was. I mean, there was like a really long quest line that you do throughout to get the last bottle.
Mhm.
That basically involves like throughout everything, finding Gorons and directing them to the cave, so they can all work together to punch through this wall.
Yeah.
Especially like once you found the sixth one and directed him there, they punch through, and then there's at the end of it a chest with the final bottle on it.
We broke this rock. Have this glass bottle we found.
No, like it's in a chest. It's not even just like, oh, here we found this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like.
Is that the only thing that was behind the rock?
Well, like there's like you find 2, then 4, and then the last one is 6. So there's like something you get each time. I think after the first one is like you get a red kinstone that specifically corresponds to something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think it would have been funny if you did all that work and all you got was I say all you got was a bottle, but bottles were pretty invaluable.
Been the most useful, like one of the most useful items.
Yeah. That was one of the things that and I every tiny little thing about Breath of the Wild that I do have a complaint about, I understand it's because it's a product of how the game is. But like I missed that I didn't have to have a bottle to carry like fairies and stuff around.
Yeah, but
and
like
it was just
the whole point of Breath of the Wild's development was like, okay, let's break the conventions of
I
Zelda.
know.
And having a bottle to store items in was one of the conventions.
I
Also,
know.
like, why doesn't Link jump? Like, why is there no jump button? I don't know.
Yeah, but and I know I've mentioned this before, but now that we have a game where Link does jump, I'm like, when do I jump? I jump to jump over cliffs, which he was doing automatically. Why did you add this? I never use it.
You also have to jump to do the shield surfing though too.
Yeah, you could not have to jump to do that.
That's true, because I still have trouble trying to activate that. I feel like I don't.
Yeah, it's a very specific button combination.
Right. I just it's not like, Mario wouldn't be Mario if he couldn't jump. I don't feel like adding jumping to Breath of the Wild really changed anything.
Yeah, but it made it feel like a more modern game.
That's true.
I don't care.
Like
I realize that if a whole bunch, like the Switch is getting all these new people in to gaming and specifically Zelda with Breath of the Wild, and I know that a whole bunch of those new people would have been like, this guy can't jump, this game is stupid. But there's a lot of games out there that you can jump in that I'm like, I don't know why. Why can't that now, to be fair, I know everybody who hears me say this is going to be like, you haven't even played all that game, so you don't know because you don't like it. But I'm going to say it. How come you can jump in Skyrim? What do you get out of being able to do that? Nothing, as far as I can tell.
I don't know.
I didn't play that much of Skyrim. So.
Yeah, and like I don't unless platforming is a very core piece of the game. The only reason I can think of that you can jump is because you have legs, so why not? But like we act like jumping is this thing that's important. Nolan, how many times have you jumped today? And for that matter, how many times have you jumped in the last month? It's just not something we do.
Today, not in the last month.
Right. So I don't know why we care so much. Unless
like
it's
getting
platform.
Stuck on something, it's like it's annoying. It's like like if there's any kind of platform thing, it's like, well, I can't jump, I'm gonna get stuck on something. So it's nice to have that jump. But other than that, unless it's an actual platformer, you don't need to.
Yeah, like,
but I mean, the auto jump though didn't always work. I can't tell you how many times I would go to like jump over a fence, and it wouldn't work, or
no,
like
for sure.
I mean that's true, but
or go to jump off a cliff and it wouldn't work, and
that's why I always
so it's nice to be able to have that level of control.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of breaking conventions. There's a genuine inventory system instead of bottles.
Yeah. I mean, I would say of my complaints, that one's pretty far down the list. If I were gonna say, okay, you're gonna make Breath of the Wild 2, whatever it's gonna be called, what are you gonna bring back from the old Zelda? Bring back the dungeons and keep the rest of the game the way that you had it. And I mean, even though I'm not super crazy about the breakable items, I get why they did it.
Cause I'm like, I ran out of stuff a lot at the beginning of the game because I couldn't.
The beginning of the game is the hardest part.
Yeah,
couldn't find anything. I'm like, it sucks.
Well, the only time that I think I really got aggravated was because I went through the game under the assumption, and I think probably a lot of people did, was, well, when I get the Master Sword, that won't break. It's the freaking Master Sword.
The Master Sword can break?
Well,
it runs out of energy and got a cooldown where it needs to charge back up.
And it's like,
what?
Why? You took what is supposed to be the most powerful weapon in this universe and you nerfed it. For what? And I know, like, so the argument is that, you know, they want the weapons to break so that you'll use more weapons. So I get that. I understand that. There are actually weapons out there with a higher damage rate than the Master Sword.
Yeah, but the DPS though on the Master Sword is pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's already a reason for me to want to maybe not use the Master Sword and go use something else. You don't need to break it. And I realized that the Hylian shield can also be destroyed.
Yeah, but it takes a lot.
Yeah, but like I can't tell you, I've probably broken mine once the entire time that I've used it.
Shield?
So like it's my Hylian shield. Yeah, it's.
Oh, I haven't broken it, but then again, I gotta wait.
Well, and I broke it because if you want to break that thing real quick, try to reflect a guardian laser back at it and mess up a whole bunch of times right in a row.
And I got really good at that.
I'm so bad at that.
Like, actually, what I did was there's that disabled guardian on the decayed. That's what it's called, the decayed guardian on the plateau, and I just saved right in front of it and practiced.
Yep. That's the best way to do it.
And got the timing down. And then I because there's a part in the Trial of the Sword where you need to deflect a bunch of lasers because otherwise you're going to run out of arrows. And so I got good at it. So I could get past that room.
You need to. So you better get good, Nolan, or you're going to have a bad time.
I'm really bad at doing deflecting.
Once I got good at deflecting guardian lasers, like the game got easy.
Oh yeah. Oh, once I got good at it, I started being like, you know, oh look, there's a field full of guardians. Let me wipe them out.
Yeah. The best part about deflecting a guardian laser is you can take out a decayed guardian in one hit. without having to use one of your ancient arrows.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It's pretty stinking sweet. So, all right. Anyway,
we're supposed to be talking about a different Zelda game. Somehow we brought it back to Breath of the Wild.
It's okay. We were talking about a better Zelda game.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. That's I can't argue that one.
Right. So, okay. So I just want to know. I asked about bonus items, and I don't think these are in the Oracle game, so I doubt it. But I do have to ask because Capcom does like to do this. Is there any Mega Man references in this game? Like anything at all? Like you're in a house and there's a picture of Dr. Light or something.
Maybe.
Do any of the characters have lots of white hair and a big white beard?
I'm trying to think.
Is there a little kid playing with a toy Mega Buster?
That might be something vaguely like that.
Yeah. Because I feel like
in
stuff
one
like
of the
that.
towns there might be a kid that's like playing with something. He's holding his arm like this.
Is there a serve bot somewhere?
Yeah. Other than that, I'm not sure because. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because
I feel like there is, but I can't confirm that.
Because I feel like if you're gonna develop another company's game for them, you need to be able to like throw in a little reference to something that you're famous for, even if it's just a character looks vaguely like a character that you made. That's what I would do anyway.
Right.
And then everybody would be like, oh, Mega Man and Zelda exist in the same universe.
No. No.
Didn't Smash Brothers already make that the case though?
That Smash Bros exists in its own universe.
Yeah.
That now includes Inklings, I guess. Wouldn't that be weird if the new Smash came out and there's no Splatoon in it at all?
After all of that,
yeah,
it's just like a joke that everyone's like yeah,
like we were
Splatoon 2, and then Smash.
Oh, remember when Aonuma joked that Link might be a girl?
Oh my gosh!
And everyone freaked out.
Like what?
He looked
and he
like
the next day he had to be like, "I'm sorry, guys, that was a joke."
Yeah, like calm yourself. Stop burning down your house. Chill.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, speaking of that Smash Brothers reveal, do y'all remember and I'm pretty sure it was for Smash Wii U. They released a trailer that looked like it was for Mario Kart. And like the trailer goes on for a little while, and then all of a sudden Kirby shows up on a Warp Star, and you're like, hold on a minute, are they putting Kirby in Mario Kart? And it turned out to be a Smash Brothers trailer.
I don't remember that now.
And
Kirby
and
works
like
in Mario Kart though.
And because the Splatoon opening, like that reminded me of that. I was like, oh, they did it again. They're like, oh, let's make everybody think this is for a different game, and then it's Smash Brothers. And I hope this becomes a trend. But yeah, that was,
I do not remember this thing you speak of.
I don't remember if it was. I feel like it was Smash for Wii U because I'm pretty sure that the track that they were on was the Mario Kart 8 remake of the Mario Kart 64 Rainbow Road.
The one that disappointed me to no end.
Yes. I'm still upset that that in the Switch version you can't tell it you want to do laps. Like I'm fine with it defaulting the way that it is, but I wish you could make it a lap race.
Yeah, I'm just like,
but especially because the other downhill tracks that are in the game are quite a bit longer than Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's just me. All right. We got any more trivia for this game?
Not really. That's pretty much it. It was just like, I mean, there's also a thing with figurines that I forgot to talk about. That basically you go up to it and like it's like a big giant Gashapon machine.
Okay, yeah.
Gashapon, and you get these little figurines, and I forget what they do. You just I think you just collect them, and if you get all of them, something happens. But
You get a MacGuffin.
Yeah. It's just hey, good job.
Congratulations.
It's a giant golden turd.
You wasted so many hours collecting all these things that don't do anything for you.
900.
How many
I'll never get over that.
There's 900 Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild, and I'm pretty sure you run out of like slots to upgrade long before
I'm gonna say I'm like
you ever get to that point. So you just get them to. There was I saw a graphic or a picture of somebody's map that had the hero's path on it, and he had actually like walked in a grid across all of Hyrule to try and find absolutely everything without using any help. And I think he said even after he did that, he still had to look up where like the last 6 Korok seeds were because he had missed them. Like that would be so aggravating to have done all of that.
I actually, when I hit like 250 hours or whatever, you're the max on the hero's path. I actually sat there and I watched myself like go through the game, and I teleported like crazy. Like every few seconds, it was like blink, 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 blink. I was like, oh, dang, this is boring.
I very early in the game, I didn't like teleporting because I was like, yeah, but I think of all the things I'm gonna miss.
We ride my horse and do all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, but now I'm like, I don't have time for this. Yeah. I even find myself going, I wish I had 3 or 4 of these teleportation medallions, so I wasn't just limited to one.
I think I stopped using it after a while.
Yeah,
like I didn't care.
Well, I've been in some places where I'm like, I want to be able to get back here quickly.
The only time it really came in useful, because the DLC dropped before I finished the game, and so I used it to get back and forth between the Oasis, I think it was, or the town outside of Gerudo Town.
Yeah.
There's one in the middle of the desert there. Is it called the Oasis? I don't remember.
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, so I just dropped the medallion outside the town and went back and forth.
Because there's not a shrine.
There's not a shrine there, and it's so annoying. There should be.
Yeah. It's weird. All right. Well, Nolan, you picked this, right? So that means I have the next game. But it is
Metacritic.
We have to guess the Metacritic score.
Oh so boy.
If you are new to this show, Nolan, who picked the game, knows what the Metacritic score is, and Joel and I do not know what the Metacritic score is, and we have to guess what it is. Whichever one of us gets closest to it without going over is the winner of bragging rights. And that is basically it. And since my game's next, I will go first. And if you know anything about how this works, there's actually a benefit to not going first, because I know some people are like, well, you get to go first. No, I would rather go second. Trust me. I realize it's not going to matter that much because it would be a straight up port, but is this actually a Metacritic score of the Game Boy Advance game, or okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember how well received this was.
I talked about it last week.
Yeah, and I wasn't here and didn't listen. So it was Capcom developed, but I don't remember anybody talking real bad about it. I'm 75.
Okay.
Man, I don't even have a number in my mind. So I'm just going to say 74.
Okay, well, Patrick wins.
All right.
Because he is closer. Because it got an 89.
Dude.
All right.
Nice.
It was, it got a lot of awards like this. And I'm looking at some of these like 100, 10, 10, 10, 100, 10, 10, 10.
Wow.
And someone put like a 60 down, which I'm like, okay. And someone in like the user put it as a 2.
Wow.
I'm just like, and apparently he just didn't like the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
Game for the story.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
go watch a movie or read a book.
A lot of people didn't like about it though. It was a short game.
Oh yeah,
it's a handheld.
Yeah, well, exactly. I know, but I think technically it is it's the shortest Zelda game because you can beat, like, when compared to all the other ones, you can beat it. And I don't mean by like glitching through or anything like that. Like legitimately just playing the game.
15 hours.
Yeah,
that is pretty short for a Zelda game.
Yeah, that's pretty short. All right. Well, now it's time to play 20 questions. So how this works is we go in order of who picked the. If I sound real monotone to y'all listening, my wife's trying to sleep, so I'm trying to be quiet. So normally I'm much more energetic and excited about this. I don't want anybody to think that I'm bored, or so if I sound like I'm bored, I apologize. I'm trying to be kind to my poor tired wife. Yeah, so 20 questions. How this goes is we pick games in order. So I pick the game, and then Joel, and then Nolan. So we're back around to me. I know what the game is. My two co-hosts do not know what the game is, and they have 20 questions to guess what that game is. So they ask yes or no questions. And then of course, if we have guests on the show, like one of us can't make it, or we just have somebody else on, they play and stuff. Okay. So whenever y'all are ready, go ahead and throw out your first weird question. Whoever's gonna ask something weird.
Nolan always comes up with better weird questions. So I'm gonna let him have that one.
It's true.
Which is fantastic because Assad did it last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was in. He did the weird question, and it made me feel good.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a weird question.
Let's see.
In this game, while playing, can you see the character's eyeballs?
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, you can.
Okay. It is not first person then.
That's correct.
Well, in most cases. I don't want to say anything because last week a statement was made of that this is not a silent protagonist.
Oh.
It goofed up a couple of things. But
anyway. I think the way the question was worded was, can you
right. Does the
protagonist
have an audible voice? Like,
have an audible voice? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Which I tried to mean, like, is it a silent protagonist? But I would guess that's interpreted differently by Nolan. It's okay.
Yeah, because you can hear their voice when Link yells.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, they do. But yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like,
Anyway.
Let's see here. Let's see. In this game, is this game meta with itself at all?
No, not that. No, I wouldn't say that.
It doesn't make fun of the fact that it's a game or something.
No.
Like, okay.
Or like, yeah, okay.
Not like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And it knows it too. That's the worst part. It's like, hey everybody, look at how bad this game is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so is this a multi-platform game?
Originally, no.
Okay.
Okay.
It means it's come to other platforms since.
Probably, yeah. Which means it's probably like ported and sent out the things. But the original release, it was.
Yes, it was exclusive to the platform.
Okay. Well, what did this game? Was this game released prior to January 1st, 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
Was this released after January 1st, 1990?
Yes.
Okay.
It's usually a safe bet that it's a 90s game, but
Usually. Is this on a Nintendo console?
No.
Okay.
Is this on a Sega console?
Yes.
Oh, jeez. I'm so bad at these at Sega games. I'm like, I know Sonic.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
that
it.
really narrows it down. That's the nice
does.
part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. Is this a platforming game?
No.
Is this a fighting game?
No.
Is this? Let's see. Is this like a well-known game?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is this on the Genesis?
Nope. That was question 11. You are now on question 12.
I think we might figure it out easy if we figure out the console.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's on the Saturn.
Yes.
Was this developed by Sega?
Yes. It was co-developed by Sega.
Okay. Is this game part of a series?
Yes.
Okay. That's a really funny idea.
Wait, Sega Saturn, not a platformer. In this game, do you fly?
Oh
no, wait. I'm thinking of a different game. Crap.
You can, but I wouldn't get hung up on that.
No. I asked the wrong question because I was
Did we ask
thinking
if
of the
it's a
wrong game.
racing game already?
No,
No.
that was not asked.
Okay. Is this a racing game?
Yes, it is.
I
Oh my god.
You picked the 1 week I don't have my camera on.
Come on, Joel.
I know. I passed.
What's the game, Joel? Tell us. No, you have to take your turn. You don't get the pass. What's the game, Joel?
No.
What's the game? Nolan, what's the game?
Terrible controls.
Is this in fact Sonic R?
Did you just ask if this game has terrible controls, Joel?
Yes.
Yes. Is it Sonic R? Yes, it is.
Yes.
So much right now. And you can't even see my face. Like,
I know. I kind of wish you had your camera on, but that's okay.
Genesis is like part of a thing.
I got
Saturn, and then you said co-developed. I was like, oh no.
And I'm like, did we say racing yet? Like,
when y'all figured out it was Saturn, I was a little surprised that just the next question wasn't, is it Sonic R?
I was hoping beyond hope.
Sure.
See, I was thinking maybe it was Nights into Dreams, but that was on the Dreamcast.
Oh, that would have been cool too.
Wasn't there a Knights game on Saturn though?
No, it came out on Dreamcast.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at all the Sega developed games and I don't see it.
Okay.
That's why I was like, oh dang it, I was thinking of the wrong game.
But yeah, co-developed by Sonic Team and Traveler's Tales. Sonic R, the first Sonic game, and the worst / best Sonic racing game. No, actually, as far as racing games go, that what was it? Sonic and Sega All-Star Transformed.
Yeah, Transformed specifically.
It was a pretty decent game. Like, if for whatever reason if you had a Wii U and for some reason you just weren't feeling Mario Kart 8 but you wanted something that was kind of in that vein, that was a decent game. This game is not a decent game, and it doesn't matter how you stretch it. This game is bad. It did so in 1997. It came out for the Sega Saturn and was eventually released for Windows in 1998. And I'm just learning. I didn't know this, so this actually means I could go get a copy and be able to play it if I can find it. It is on the Sonic Gems collection for PS2
This
and
is not a
GameCube.
gem.
Well, neither is Sonic Fighters, and that's also on this collection. So
Okay, that game is at least fun to watch the character models go all wonky.
That's true.
And how badly it plays, I guess. I don't know.
Here's a little. The game was praised by critics for its visuals, but criticized for its poor game controls and shortly. Poor does not describe how bad the game controls are. Outright bad. Meanwhile, the soundtrack polarized players and critics alike. I, for one, find its cringiness worth making it worth listening to. I mean, it's if you're into like really bad 90s, it's not even like club music, dance music, I guess.
Eurobeat.
Yeah, that's it. House and Eurobeat. I almost said Euro trash.
This game is Euro trash.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, so Sonic R is the only original Sonic game to be released on the Sega Saturn. Sonic 3D Blast is a port of a Genesis title, and Sonic Jam is a compilation of the first 4 Sonic games with a weird 3D hub world in it. But I guess that doesn't make it count as an original Sonic game. So there you are. Yep, we're going to do that. So like I said, if you have a Saturn, obviously you could go pick up a copy of the game. But I would imagine the easiest way to play this is going to be if you can get a hold of the Gem Collection for PS2 and GameCube. Although I did just look up the prices for it on Amazon, and it's like $75. I found better deals on eBay. So you could look there. Maybe you have a used game store that has it. I had been working very hard to get the PC version, which I own, running on my, on modern hardware. And no matter how many tutorials I found claiming that it worked, I could never get the thing running. So, yeah. So unless you have like an old PC sitting around from the 90s,
Actually, I've heard of people who make 90s PCs now. They go to like used computer parts stores and they'll build a computer that runs Windows 98.
Oh, that's cool.
Out of new old stock.
Sweet. So, yep. So we're going to be playing that, and neither one of the two of you are allowed to miss.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it.
I think I'm going to be dead that week.
No. If I get a text at like 6 o'clock next week saying I'm not going to make it, I'll be like, well, we're just talking about a different game then. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Well, no, we got to do plugs.
Oh, Nights into Dreams did come out on the Saturn. I was looking for a K, not an N. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because it's spelled like nighttime.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my cat is freaking out for a second.
Yeah. So plugs. Baseman, what are you up to on the internet these days?
Things.
Nolan dies, of course.
Fascinating.
Nolan dies. Yeah, so that should actually be coming back this week.
Yay.
At the time of this recording. So, yeah, so on, what would that be? 5 days?
Yeah, so it's on Thursdays, right?
Yeah, so the 23rd, I guess.
At what Eastern?
At 10 Eastern.
Okay.
Because I normally don't get out early enough to do it at 6.
No, that's okay. We need
9 or 8.
We need more late night streaming anyway.
Yeah.
So the world doesn't, as much as I would like for it to, the world does not revolve around the Central Time Zone. So.
But it's in the center.
It's not, in fact.
That's true.
Yeah. So I will be getting back to that finally. Let's see. I'm playing a lot of Monster Hunter, though not nearly as much as I wish I could. Baseman 214, Baseman 21491, or Icy White Falcon at PSN, Steam, Nintendo, Twitter. Technically, I have my own Twitch, but I don't really use it anymore. What am I thinking? Technically YouTube. I have really old, cringy videos you could watch.
Yes. Feature those.
Somebody found my old Let's Play of Zelda that I never finished, and they're like, "You need to finish this. It's really good." I'm like, "No."
The game is good.
The game is good.
Mhm.
I don't think I was playing well. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Pinterest, I don't know, things, various things. My face is usually, you can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's me. It's
See
not
that
just
big smile.
something
Indeed.
like that.
All right, Joel, what are you up to online?
Anywhere you can find me on the internet, you can find me under Obi Watt Kenobi, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the like, Nintendo, PSN, those places. So on Mondays, I do Mario Maker Mondays with
That's right.
CrossForge Gaming, where I play your submitted Super Mario Maker levels. Don't send me like super extra hard levels because I probably won't play them. Although last week I did beat a Super Meat Boy inspired level, so that was a lot of fun actually.
Freaking P-Switch nightmare.
The P-Switch nightmare was stupid. I hate that level.
That really was. I'm like, although it was really funny when you got stuck underneath the piles. I'm like, well, this is interesting.
Yeah. So like the puzzle levels are not my favorite. I definitely prefer more action oriented levels, like the Super Meat Boy level that I spent half an hour on.
Yeah.
But I beat it.
How'd you like mine? Just kidding. Like, how'd you like those ones?
Gosh, I felt like I just flew through them. I don't even remember them. I'm sorry.
You flew through them pretty quick. But yeah.
Wow.
That's it. Well, freaking, they took down most of my really good levels. Those are like the only two good ones I still had.
Would they still be saved locally?
Oh, they're still on my. They're on my view. Yeah.
Yeah, you should just re-upload them so I can play them.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to. I just said you can't redo it.
What?
So go in and
re-upload it.
Go in and tweak something.
Yeah,
movable.
I had a level.
I might just do that honestly. I just remake.
Like add a coin and save it as a different level and then re-upload it.
I might try that. Yeah, and I had some really good ones. But yeah,
I've got one that I submitted to Joe of Righteous Fury, and it was a series of very complicated wall kicks. And
I played that.
I think he did eventually beat it, but by the time he was done, he was saying that because the wall kicking doesn't it require a shoulder button?
Yeah, well, because you have to air spin to get enough distance between the walls.
Yeah. And because of that, he was saying that like his hand was hurting before it was over. So so
the Meat Boy level I was playing, it didn't require the air spin, but it definitely made it easier. And so by the time I finished it, my hand was sore. Just the way you have to grip the controller to hit the shoulder button to spin in the air. I
wonder why they didn't map that to like a double jump. Just jump again.
Or, use the Super Nintendo setup. Like where it's a dedicated face button.
Right. It's not like there's not enough buttons on the Wii U controller.
It has the exact same 4 buttons on the face.
Right.
Come on, Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget the first time I went to go run in Super Mario Maker and I jumped because they changed the buttons. It's not like Super Mario World. I was like, no, what is this?
I do that with in Splatoon 1, jump is it's Y on Nintendo, right?
That's to the left.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting it. See, I get it confused.
X is the top one on Nintendo.
Okay, yeah, so X is jump on Splatoon 1.
Mm-hmm.
In Breath of the Wild, X is jump.
Yep.
In Splatoon 2, X is not jump. Why? Why are you doing this to me?
Oh, is it Y?
I don't think it's Y. Really and I think what it is that in Splatoon 1, because you had stuff that was mapped to the Wii U gamepad screen,
Oh yeah.
That had a lot of effect on why buttons were what they are, and now you don't have that on the Switch, so they moved it back down to B. Because now X pulls up the map. That's what it is, so that you can jump to it. Anyway,
yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Is Mario Maker Monday. Submit your levels. You can go to our Twitch chat, twitch.tv/CrossForge Gaming. Use the command !submit. It will give you a link to a Google Doc. Fill out the form fully and completely, and I will maybe play your level.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You can find me on this show and I do the Friday night streams on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/CrossForge Gaming. This coming Friday is another Jackbox Party Pack night, which we actually found a new game on the Party Pack to play. It was Survive the Internet, and that was so. In fact, we had so much fun playing last time that I actually,
so much fun.
I actually streamed an extra hour. We had so much fun playing it.
Are you guys down? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
It helped. It helped that my wife wasn't home, and I could just be like, "Yeah, let's just go." So yeah, so I can't promise that until we get a new house when the office is in a separate room from our bedroom, I can't guarantee that will happen very often. But I try. It's a lot of fun. In case you all missed it, we don't do this show live anymore, so it's just on YouTube.
For those of you watching live, we
don't
do this live anymore.
We don't do this live anymore. And the Assad is working very diligently on getting the audio. So we're moving to a new podcast server, which is free. He's working very hard on getting that up. But the one place that I can tell you that it will be up on time every time is right here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/CrossForgeGaming, until Assad gets all the kinks and bugs worked out. But that is coming. He's working very hard on it. And I'm very happy that he's working on it because it's one less thing that I have to worry about. And I don't stream P3 anymore. We just, as much fun as I had doing it, and I still do P3, but I do it like I used to do it, where I just record locally. There just wasn't enough people watching it live on Twitch, and we had other Twitch streamers who were getting twice the viewers that I was getting, and sometimes 3 times the viewers that I was getting. So I was like, you know what? Let's get someone who is better at this. And half the problem with my stream was, again, because my office is my bedroom, I can't be streaming until, like 10, 11 o'clock at night, like some of you other guys can be. So I was pretty limited.
Do those 5-hour streams like
I can't. I would love to be able to. I can't. I have other people that I have to be considerate of. So so I made room for that. I don't know who took over Wednesday. Actually, I don't even know who took over Sunday for us. But you can find all that.
I think it was either between me and then Josh said something about Mel wanted to, so she might be doing Sunday.
Okay. Well, the schedule's over at twitch.tv/CrossForgeGaming, but you can still see plenty of me on the YouTube channel because that's where I am. Talking Heads, that's going to be ramping back up. I'm on Patreon a lot. Go over there, patreon.com/CrossForgeGaming. And for as little as $1 a month, you get pretty much all the exclusive content. I don't think, other than some Discord features and stuff, I don't think we've walled anything off into the more expensive tiers yet. But that's there and it's growing, and that's something that I'm really pushing. We have merchandise, all kinds of cool stuff. Links to all that stuff are in the description below. I have this splitter, this audio cable splitter that I've been playing with, and I'm waving it around while I do that. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, what is he got in his hand? That's what it is. It's a audio cable splitter that I bought. And then after I bought it, I realized that the thing that I bought it for, I found a better way to do it. And now I don't think I need this, but it'll be nice to have.
It's good to have extra.
Yeah, it's good to have. And it was $4, so whatever.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Nolan, you got music for our audio listeners? Maybe.
Well, I definitely have a closing one. I couldn't really think of a second one. Is the only thing. So You know, I guess just like the intro music, just in general, is very nice. It's very, you know, it's like the regular like overworld music.
Aside, you should just the little noise the Game Boy makes when you turn it on. Just play that. It'll be good.
And the ending one is as you're going through Hyrule Castle, which is it's really just a Dark World remix, but it's really nice.
Nice.
Like, it's a really nice Dark World remix.
I love the Dark World music.
Yeah.
I realized I should have finished that thought and not. I love the Dark World. It's great. All the sadness and despair. All right, well, that's going to do it for this extra long episode of Original Gamers Podcast, where we talked about the game we are going to be talking about for at least 15% of the time. I promise. I promise you.
How long have we been going?
We have like over 2 hours.
2.5. Oh, goodness.
It's pretty crazy. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, or listening, whichever one of those that it is you did. If you're in the community, tell Assad thank you for all the hard work that he's doing for us on the show behind the scenes. He's been working really, really hard. I've been checking in on him and helping him out as much as I can. And
he's also doing the highlights for
Nolan Dies, and I know he has many hours of footage to go through.
Many hours of footage to go through.
So yeah, tell Assad that you appreciate the sacrifice that he is making, because goodness knows we are not paying him enough to do what we do. And if you're like, wait, you guys pay? No, we do not. So that should tell you.
That's the joke.
All right. So we will see you around the YouTube channel and Facebook and all that stuff. And we'll see you back here next week for Sonic R, the best game ever.
All
right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Be good, humans. Don't play the game.